Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel and I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It's time to stand up in today's The Young and the Restless. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Wednesday, July 16th, reveal Nick Newman is being framed for Damian Kane's murder. Chancellor grills Phyllis Summers, while Lily Winters mourns a tragic loss. Plus, Amanda Sinclair asks Kane Ashby what he's trying to hide. On Wednesday, Chance gathers everyone in the train car following Damian's murder. The Young and the Restless, spoilers say the cop is doing a preliminary investigation until authorities arrive at the scene. Everyone points the finger at Kane, but he insists it's a calculated attack intended for him, not Damian. Amanda adds that her client is the only one in danger here, but Lily finds it hard to believe. Later, Chance interrogates Phyllis first. The redhead recalls something's off with the maze, as if someone had rearranged everything to throw them off. Phyllis then explains she saw Kane lowering a lifeless Damian onto the ground. Chance asks if she witnessed anything that suggests Kane killed Damian, but Phyllis insists she didn't sense any conflict. The Young and the Restless, spoilers say Chance wonders if Phyllis is covering for Kane to get a job. Phyllis is offended and maintains that she doesn't think Kane did it. Meanwhile, Amanda demands that Kane be honest with her. The Young and the Restless, spoilers say the lawyer has doubts about her client and suspects he has something to do with the murder. Kane gets defensive and points out there's no evidence he killed Damian. Still, Amanda is worried, adding that it doesn't look good for him. The two speculate who could have tried to kill him. Kane says he wouldn't put it past Victor, and Nick is a hothead. Then, Amanda asks why he's pretending he can't contact the police, especially when they both know he easily could. She begins to suspect he's hiding something and deliberately obstructing the investigation. Elsewhere, Nick and Sharon talk about the incident and how suspicious Kane is. The Young and the Restless, spoilers say Nick has a hunch that Kane is trying to shift the blame onto someone else, turning this already disastrous vacation into an even bigger nightmare. Nick assumes Kane will drag Victor into the mess and go after Chancellor. Later, he finds the dagger in a bag in the bathroom of his car. Nick rushes to Chance and Phyllis, declaring that someone is setting him up. Watch The Young and the Restless, weekdays on CBS. The Young and the Restless returns on Tuesday with an all-new episode as Nick, Joshua Morrow, follows through with his plan to fool Dr. Anderson, Elizabeth Bogusch, while Phyllis, Gina Tognoni, asks Natalie, Mara McCaffrey, to work with her. Check out Heavy's Young and the Restless spoilers page for continued updates, news, and rumors. Nick, pictured above in Tuesday's YNR episode, endures a slap to the face from Sage to convince Dr. Anderson of the legitimacy of their conversation. CBS screenshot. For some time, Dr. Anderson has been trying to split up Nick and Sage. Unbeknownst to Nick, Sandy is plotting against him due to a Newman Ranch diving accident that took place when the two were teens. The dramatic incident not only lost Sandy a child that was supposedly Nick's, but also the ability to get pregnant. Nick has no idea that she was that girl. Sage, Kelly Sullivan, has started to catch on to Dr. Anderson's ways. She's well aware that Sandy has been trying to keep her away from Sully and drive a wedge between herself and Nick. On Monday, Sage and Nick devised a plan to catch Dr. Anderson in her deceitful ways, as Nick pretended to side with her. On Tuesday, Sage, playing the part of the betrayed wife, slaps Nick while he pretends to calm her down. "We should get out of here, so we can talk." Sage, committed to the task at hand, screams at Nick right in front of Dr. Anderson. She seems to be buying their acting. "No, I don't want to get out of here, Nick, because you're a traitor." Meanwhile, the plan to get Adam back from the kidnapper at the Chelsea 2.0 fashion event seemed to go off without almost any hitches. Adam was traded for Natalie, who was decked out in bridal wear with a tracking bracelet. Once Natalie was taken, she fought back against the kidnapper, buying her just enough time for Dylan, Steve Burton, to come to her rescue. However, she soon tried to escape, but was stopped by Phyllis, who's evidently the mastermind behind the kidnapping. Phyllis's disdain for Victor, Eric Braden, is so strong that she seemingly wanted nothing more than to ruin his cyber project opportunity. On Tuesday, Nikki, Melody Thomas Scott, makes her thoughts about Natalie to Victor crystal clear. She wants her gone. "I hope she is far away, and has taken her drama with her. Later, Natalie, who was prevented from leaving the area, queries Phyllis on what she wants from her. "You want me to work for you?" In response, Phyllis informs Natalie that she would like them to work together. "With me." The Young and the Restless returns next week with, and as Nick, Joshua Morrow, is concerned that Sage, Kelly Sullivan, is taking her plan against Dr. Anderson, Elizabeth Bogush, too far, while Victor, Eric Braden, finds himself up against several adversaries. Check out Heavy's Young and the Restless spoilers page for continued updates, news, and rumors. Read on for next week's YNR spoilers. Sage, pictured above in Monday's YNR episode, may have taken her plan against Dr. Anderson too far. CBS screenshot. Sage has reached the point of no return in her plan to find out Dr. Anderson's motives with Nick. Fed up with Dr. Anderson constantly getting involved in herself and Nick's business, Sage is determined at all costs to do whatever it takes to exploit her. However, after being arrested, she now finds herself checked into Fairview. On Monday, Dr. Shelby, Terrell Tilford, grills Sage on why she's been sent to the sanitarium. The doctor isn't buying that she needs to be there. According to Celeb Dirty Laundry, she'll spill the beans to Dr. Shelby that Dr. Anderson wants to destroy her life. Meanwhile, Adam, Justin Hartley, who came to Sage's defense at the hospital last week, isn't on board with Nick having Sage committed. In other words, he doesn't realize that this is part of Nick and Sage's plan. Nick, who's getting extremely worried for his wife's safety, informs Sage that he feels that they've taken their plan too far. Later on, Dr. Anderson offers up Nick something that he cannot refuse, according to Celeb Dirty Laundry. In the process, she mistakenly makes a shocking confession. Nick tells Sharon Case, about what he and Sage are planning to do. The site reported that, by the end of the week, Sharon may let Dr. Anderson in on their plan. All set for a temporary leave for Genoa City, Victor is unaware of his numerous enemies. CBS screenshot. Meanwhile, Victor continues on with his quest to capitalize on Kevin, Greg Rickhart, and Natalie's, Mara McCaffrey, cyber project. Little does he know that Natalie, along with Phyllis, Gina Tognoni, and Billy, Jason Thompson, are plotting to take him down. To top it off, he's also got Luca, Miles Gaston Villanueva, working against him. However, what Luca doesn't realize that Adam, who made a bogus plan to dupe him, is working as a double agent for Victor. Further complicating the situation, Chelsea, Melissa Claire Egan, is trying to save Adam. Drama around the holidays continues to dominate The Young and the Restless on its Monday, December 7, 2015 episode as some shocking news surrounding baby Sully was revealed. Also, the situation between Billy, Burgess Jenkins, and Victor, Eric Braden, continues heating up. Stay on top of Heavy's YNR updates by clicking the following link, The Young and the Restless spoilers. Here's what you need to know for the December 7, 2015 YNR installment. Adam Newman is a rock in a hard place on Monday's episode when he learns about some shocking news surrounding Sage. CBS screenshot. According to Celeb Dirty Laundry, Adam, Justin Hartley, learns that baby Sully is really Sage's, Kelly Sullivan's son. Adam has a difficult time breaking the news to Nick, Joshua Morrow. Despite this, Adam will do what is necessary to keep his family together. While Chelsea, Melissa Claire Egan, is grateful for Sage's part in bringing her and Adam back to one another, Chelsea wants to know if she's fallen for Adam. "You fell in love with him, didn't you?" This catches a nearby Adam off guard. "You, Sage, fell in love with me?" Billy Abbott finds himself increasingly on his own as YNR heads further into the holiday season. CBS screenshot. Phyllis, Gina Tognoni, tells Billy that he needs to get sober so that they can better deal with Jack, Peter Bergman. But Jack is aware of the situation. Phyllis admits that she enjoyed feeling empowered. At the GC Athletic Club, Jack informs Billy that he's now on his own. Jack has some harsh words for Victor. "You want a war, you just got one." Victor brushes those comments off with a smile. In another scene, Phyllis passionately tells Jack, "Billy and I mutilated Newman Enterprises, and once more we enjoyed it." Nick Newman may be facing payback from a bet gone wrong he made during his teenage years. CBS. Dylan, Steve Burton, is queried by Dr. Anderson, Elizabeth Bogush, about Sharon case, health, suggesting that Sage shouldn't be around Sully. This angers Nick. While teenagers, a wager between Dr. Anderson and Nick led to a severe diving accident, suggesting that Sandy may be keen on revenge. Nick wants to see Sage at the penthouse, but Adam won't allow it. Nick recalls him leaning on Phyllis over Sharon following Cameron Grimes' death. Victor Newman may be looking for retaliation in a big way on Monday's YNR episode. CBS screenshot. Victor seems ready to retaliate against Adam. Meanwhile, Victoria, Amelia Heinley, is reluctant to trust Adam. Victor reveals that he's gunning for Jabot, threatening that to sue and ruin Phyllis, Eileen Davidson. Also, Greg Ricard, returns from Geneva, and Mariah, Cameron Grimes, isn't thrilled about the hacker he met there. The latest The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that baby Sully's true identity as Christian will ruin Nick's, Joshua Morrow, relationship with Sage, Kelly Sullivan when Adams, Justin Hartley, revealed to be his father. Check out Heavy's Young and the Restless spoilers page for continued updates, news, and rumors. Read on for YNR spoilers on Nick, Sage, and Adam, and be sure to check back for after-show recaps. The trailer for Tuesday's episode can be viewed above. Nick and Sage seem to be hitting things off quite well lately. While her insistence that she get herself checked into Fairview to spy on the now-late Dr. Anderson, Elizabeth Bogush, was his favorite move, a rekindled romance had them on the same page nonetheless. However, unbeknownst to Nick, a marriage-shattering secret closely looms as baby Sully's true identity is on the cusp of being revealed. While the news of Christian being alive is extremely positive, it's what Nick isn't yet aware of that isn't. Adam's the baby's biological father. Nick will think he's getting a baby back that was never his to begin with. According to Celeb Dirty Laundry, he'll not understand how his father and brother could have stood by and watched him go through that pain without telling him. Nick will be just as upset with Sage, who conceived the baby with Adam. If baby Christian's identity is revealed, Adam will find himself no longer obligated to Victor. However, he's faced the threat of a shattered marriage. CBS screenshot. Meanwhile, just when Adam's trying to get it right with Chelsea, Melissa Claire Egan, he's got his father seemingly always hovering over his business, sporadically blackmailing him with baby Sully's identity as his leverage. Whenever Victor, Eric Braden, feels as though Adam's wandered off from under his thumb, his father's always there to remind him who's boss. Christian's existence as Adam's baby could also ruin the later's holy union to Chelsea, who's been uneasy in the past about Adam and Sage's bond. Will baby Christian's reveal ruin the Nick and Adam's respective relationships? If so, how will that change the dynamic between Victor and Adam? Stay tuned. Be sure to stay up to date with Heavy on Young and The Restless. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that the investigation of Dr. Anderson's, Elizabeth Bogush, murder will have a drastic impact on two relationships. Furthermore, baby Sully's true identity is set to shake Genoa City up. Check out Heavy's Young and the Restless spoilers page for continued updates, news, and rumors. Read on for the scoop on next week's episodes of YNR, and be sure to check back for after-show recaps. Patty, pictured above in Sage's YNR dream sequence, will be the catalyst for baby Sully's true identity reveal. CBS screenshot. Dylan, Steve Burton, continues working alongside Nick, Joshua Morrow, to get to the bottom of Dr. A's death. In prior episodes, Patty, Stacey Hayduke, is shown killing Sandy, Dr. A, with a sharp object off her desk. However, Celeb Dirty Laundry reported that since Patty's heavily medicated, what's going on in her head may or may not be true. The site suspects that the YNR's creative brass may be throwing a curveball at its loyalists. Nonetheless, YNR fans witness Sage, Kelly Sullivan, waking up from a nightmare in which she saw Patty singing to baby Sully. The site suspects that Sage may come to a realization about the baby. Dylan continues grilling Patty, who freaked out at her nephew insinuating she was a murderer, about the night of Sandy's murder. Meanwhile, Nick recalls Patty trying to communicate something to him and Sage at Fairview. As indicated in past YNR rumors, Sharon case, soon finds out that her and Sully, really baby Christian, don't share any DNA. This will have a serious impact on three relationships/bonds, Nick and Sage, Dylan and Sharon, and the friendship between the two couples. Nick and Sage will likely be thrilled to know baby Christian is alive. However, Dylan and Sharon are likely not to be. Be sure to stay up to date with Heavy on Young and the Restless spoilers. The program airs Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS. Nick becomes the prime suspect in Damien's murder as Lily reveals new details, Phyllis shifts sides, and Victor vows to protect his son on The Young and the Restless, July 17th episode. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, July 17th, hint at major developments in the murder investigation involving Nick. As Chance digs deeper, Lily drops a key detail, Phyllis possibly flips sides, and Victor makes a serious promise about protecting his family. Chance questions Nick about the bloody dagger. Chance has more questions for Nick after finding a bloody dagger in his sleeping car bathroom. Nick claims he's being framed and points to Kane as the one behind it. He believes Kane is trying to shift the blame to save himself. Despite Nick's denial, Chance needs to consider every angle. Nick might not have a clear motive, but Kane believes he was the actual target, which could mean Nick had reason to act first. Phyllis may complicate things further. She saw Nick earlier in the maze and noticed he was upset. She's also told Kane she would choose him over Nick if it came down to it. So, there's a chance she could tell Chance about Nick's agitated behavior. That might make Nick look worse in the ongoing investigation. Lily shares key details with Chance. Meanwhile, Lily talks to Chance and reveals something important. She tells him about a heated conversation involving Nick and Amanda just before Damien's death. According to Lily, Nick was worked up over Kane and stormed off by himself. That could put Nick under more suspicion, especially with so many people pointing to his anger toward Kane. Kane continues to deny that he had any role in framing Nick. He points out that he wasn't alone long enough to plant the evidence. After leaving Damien's body behind, he was with Phyllis and then with Chance. That means Kane didn't have time to go back for the dagger or other missing items. Still, Nick argues someone else could have helped Kane, maybe Carter or another one of Kane's employees. Victor learns about all the twists in the investigation and makes it clear he won't let Nick take the fall. He vows to protect his family no matter what it takes. As more details come to light, Chance's investigation could lead to some surprising revelations. Look for a special guest appearance by the green-eyed monster as a jealous Kane confronts Damien about his feelings for Lily. Always weighing her options and considering her next best move, Amanda strikes a deal. Phyllis finds herself in a familiar situation, in other words, the dangerous kind. Does she have a nose for trouble, or what? As the murder mystery kicks off, we may have figured out who kills. Spoiler. Young and Restless spoilers for Tuesday, July 15. With matters taking a turn for the murderess, Nick devises an escape plan. Better late than never, bro. Good thing Kane invited Genoa City's only cop to the south of France. As the host with the most thought that Chance would have to, he investigates a crime. Lily's world is turned upside down.